It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I'm going to start a new campaign.
Okay.
I want people that have been in TV shows and movies, they only get to do one. So, like, Hugh Laurie only can play House. He's never in another TV show. So this is gonna help a lot because it's gonna make sure there's no crappy movies or TV shows made because nobody's gonna want to act in them.
Okay.
And it's going to cure the first 10 minutes of every TV show and every movie going, what the hell did he used to play in?
Right. You never have to ask that question because he's only in House.
See, I watched the new Creep show, and for the first 10 minutes, I'm going, who the hell is that? And then they go to the other guy, and I go, who the hell is that? And you know him, but you don't know him. One was Jason Stackhouse from Sookie's brother. He's in it.
Right.
And then the guy from Clueless, who was the skateboard guy.
Okay.
He was in it. So the whole time you're going, well, who is he? I know that, but where do I know him from? So from now on, you only get to play one part, and that's it.
Right. But that's not really fair because what's the guy's name from
Exactly. See, you stop doing that.
It's Ryan something. I know that. I remember that.
Yeah, you stop doing that game. That one guy that played in it's only that guy that played in that movie, and that's it. Johnny Knoxville is only Jackass. That's it. He's nothing else.
Right.
And it's going to give all these other actors who are out of a jobs.
Who the hell played Jason Stackhouse? I can't remember his name now. You drive me crazy.
Exactly. Jason Stackhouse.
It's Ryan something.
Yeah. So he's
Quantin. That's it.
So he's in this TV show, and the whole time you're going, where do I know him from? So if we do this, then that takes that away.
Okay, so two things. First of all, this is why Prime is so great, because while you're watching Prime, they have the X-ray. So all you have to do is swipe up while you're watching something, and it says who the actor is. So that way you don't have to go, wait, who is that? And then you can click on it. It pauses the show. It brings up their IMDb page. It's brilliant.
See, it's too many things. I don't need this in my life. I don't need X-ray. I just need new people. And if they're really good, like Hugh Laurie, then he gets to have a job for 10 years.
Well, hang on a minute.
A movie like Dexter. Dexter would never be around because he would have died in 6 Feet Under. So he would have never been on Dexter.
I know, but that's not a good thing because you love Dexter and you love 6 Feet Under.
But I would have loved somebody else as Dexter, maybe. You didn't give nobody a chance.
I think Michael C. Hall does a really good job at that. But here's the thing. Your problem is that you watch television by yourself.
Right.
I watch television with my wonderful boyfriend. And the reason why he's so wonderful is because he knows that when he watches with me, he has to have his iPad open to IMDb. Because he knows that the minute I see somebody, I go, who's that? What else was he in? So he'll go, oh, that guy was on The Wire. He was also in Bosch. His name is blah, blah, blah. Like he will tell me right there to make sure. Because he knows I can't watch television without needing to know who the actors are and what else they were in.
Enjoyable experience because you never have to ask that question ever. I mean, James Gandolfini would be in nothing but Tony Soprano. You don't want to say
he was in nothing but Tony Soprano,
but he was in a couple of movies. So you would go, where do I know him from? It's Tony Soprano. No, that's the only job you get. So you're going to make sure it's a really good job.
That's the dumbest idea I ever heard in my life because you can't stop a good actor. I mean, then think about all the actors who were really good more than once. Like you brought up Michael C. Hall. He was just as good in Dexter as he was in 6 Feet Under.
But it could have been another actor, and you wouldn't have had to spend the first 10 minutes of Dexter going, who is that guy?
Ed O'Neill had a whole career on Married with Children before he was ever on Modern Family. And he's
would have been
great
fine.
in both.
It would have been fine without him on Modern Family. He could have just went out as Ed Bundy.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus was so good as Elaine on
That's
Seinfeld.
all she should have done.
And she was just as good as the president and vice president in Veep. She was so good in Veep.
Yeah, I never saw it. So
as
that's
Selena.
all she was to me.
But okay, that's you. I mean, I sometimes I look at her and I think because she's Selena Myers. Now she's Selena Myers more than she's Elaine anyway.
But if she's on another TV show, you're going to go, who is that? And you're going to have to look it up. See, that takes away from the enjoyment of the movie because you just got to go with the movie. So one and done. That's it. That's all you get. You better make sure it's good.
It is distracting because I'll be honest. I wanted to check out the show. There's a brand new show on, I don't know, one of the channels. I watch everything on Hulu, so I have no idea what channels things are actually on. But there's a new show called Ordinary Joe. And I like to check out new shows, not because I'm ever interested in watching them, because I could care less about network television.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know about them. So that way, if it comes up, if somebody asks about it, if there's a story, I'm not left in the dark. I'm well versed. So there's this new show called Ordinary Joe, and it's network, so it's terrible. And the concept is really, it's very convoluted. And the idea is the guy as a kid is graduating college, and there's 3 paths he can take. And you're watching him take all 3 paths. So he becomes, so he becomes like a famous rock star in one of the paths. In another one, he becomes I guess he's a surgeon or a doctor of some kind. He's working at a hospital. He's working the late shift. And then a third one, he's a cop, like his dad was.
Has he ever played in anything else?
Well, that's the thing. I'm watching. I'm like, this guy looks really familiar. And I'm like,
it takes away from
I know. I had to pause it because I was like, he looks like the guy from Friday Night Lights, but it can't be him because this guy is young and the Friday Night Lights guy is old. So there's no way he can play a college guy who's just starting out. And then it just wasn't working for me. So I had to pause the show. I had to go to IMDb. I had to find out that he played a character on Mad Men that was on like a season or 2. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I hear
Don Draper is only going to be Don Draper. He cannot be in anything else. And if he is in something else, like Baby Driver, it just takes away from the fact that that's Don Draper.
No, but this guy wasn't Don Draper. He was a lesser character.
Well, I'm just saying, in general, Don Draper, he had his shot. He did a really good job for 15 years. So stop it. Unless they do a Mad Men movie, you don't get to work again.
I don't think that's right. I see what you're saying. Like you should be able to give opportunity to like a young upcoming actor. Like stop taking all the roles yourself.
Right. You're Don Draper. You had your shot. You did a really good job. Now don't do anything else. Or you can give them one TV show like Black Mirror, and they can just do that.
You of all people should not want this.
Why?
Because that means that whatever show is considered your moment that you peaked. Like if people didn't watch Mad Men, they don't know who any of these people are. Like there's a lot of people that watched Ordinary Joe that are like, I've never seen this guy before ever because they didn't watch Mad Men. It wasn't their show. I only got one shot with
this stupid show. So it's not like I'm going to go do another stupid show. I got this stupid show.
But that's what I'm saying. You've worked with me all these years.
Right.
You're stuck with me. But maybe one day somebody else will come along and offer you something better with more money.
No, because then you're going to be like, where do I know that guy? That's that guy that was Cooper. Yeah. Isn't his name Lawrence? I don't know.
That was my favorite. They thought I was Cooper and you were Lawrence.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Let's say you're married. God forbid.
Okay. Yikes, but okay.
All right. Let's say you're married and your husband, God forbid, is dying.
Okay.
And on his deathbed, he makes you promise in front of your kids that you're never going to date again.
That's selfish, but okay.
I can see me doing that.
All right.
It's because you don't want to share. Promise me you're never going to. Okay. And then I can die.
Right.
Would you not date again? Or would you say, screw it?
I would make that promise to my dying spouse because that's what they want in the moment. And they want to be able, listen, You know me. I always like a good fight. I think the moment your spouse is dying is probably not the best time to start a fight. Even me, even I know. Whatever they say, yes. Sell the house, yes. Don't ever date again, yes. To make sure the kids all go to college, sure. Like whatever. Our kids are not going anywhere. But I'm just saying, like, whatever they say in that moment, you say yes. And then as soon as they're dead, you do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, so a guy did this to his wife with his kids standing around the bed on his deathbed. He grabbed her hand and said, "Promise me you'll never date anybody else and I'll be the only one." And she said yes, and then he died. So now she doesn't know what to do because she had the kids there. The kids saw it. How is she going to date ever again and the kids know about it?
Because it's none of their kids' business. Because you say to the kids, listen, daddy was dying. That's what he needed to hear. But I'm alive. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to get laid. Sorry.
Dying wish.
Yeah, not my problem. That's a selfish, it's a selfish dying wish. If your dying wish is something that if you were not dying would get us into a huge fight, that doesn't get to be your dying. I don't have
Why
to
would you
adhere
think
to
that
your...
would be a fight. I'm just asking for a favor right before I die.
Because the favor is incredibly selfish, and it says that I am not allowed to have a life unless you're in it. Like I have to hold a candle to my dead husband who is no longer here.
On my last breath, and you're fighting me on this.
No, that's my point. You don't fight them. You tell them, you say yes, you tell them whatever they want to hear. And then as soon as they die, you go do whatever the hell you want. Wow. I would never adhere to that. No. And I would say to the kids, you know what? Sometimes you just got to tell people what they need to hear.
As soon as dad dies, you would say.
Because what your father asked for was completely unfair and it was selfish and it was a dumb thing to ask for. And it was about his insecurity. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about my happiness. Because if I was dying, I would say to my boyfriend, promise me you'll go find somebody else. I don't want you to live the rest of your life and never have sex and be alone forever. Like, go find I want you to be happy.
But no, not guys. We want you never to get laid ever again.
But you're dead. What do you care?
But I'm not dead. I'm in heaven. I'm watching you. And my kids know.
No, I promised you that while we were married, I would not cheat on you.
Do us part, and you died. So done.
Death do us part. We have parted. I no longer am tied to anything.
Putting that in my will.
Sorry, death do us part. We're parting.
I'm putting
later.
That in my will. You cannot have a dime if you date ever again.
Listen, I think it's cruel to tell your dying partner a lie. I'm sorry, that you're not going to date. I think you should lie to them is my point. I think it's cruel not to lie. The person is dying. They want to feel like they're leaving the world in a certain state that makes them feel good and makes them happy and makes them feel like dying is okay. I think that's very different than a very realistic life. I mean, you didn't say how old she was. If she's 36, what's she supposed to do? Go the rest of her life and never have sex and never have a boyfriend? No.
I can so see you fighting with the guy on the deathbed. Do you want me to lie to you or no? As soon as you die, I'm dating. Hold on. I'm on Tinder right now. I'm getting ready to hit enter. I've set up a whole new profile. Beep. Enter.
Listen, I wouldn't do it that soon. I mean, I would take some time to grieve.
You bring a date to the funeral.
No, I mean, I would want my significant other to be happy. And if they want to pine away from me for the rest of their lives, that's their prerogative, but I don't think that would make them happy. I wouldn't want that for my spouse. No, of course not.
Exactly what I expected you to say. Congratulations.
Well, what about you? I mean, if you were dying, would you say that to your wife? Would you and your wife even have that conversation, first of all?
No, but if somebody asked me that on their deathbed, I think it would be very hard for me to go out and date again.
Okay, so if your wife was dying and said to you on her deathbed, I don't want you to be with anybody else once I'm gone.
No, I would bring a date to the funeral. That's
Okay, so you're a whore then too.
yeah, but I'm saying my kids would never look at me again, and that's the bad thing. Is I still have to be around the kids.
No, but I think the lesson to the kids is that your happiness is important, and that your mother or father in this situation was being incredibly selfish. And that I hope one day, if this is your situation, no, I'm serious. It's a good teaching opportunity. It's a good lesson to a kid. I mean, the idea that somebody possesses somebody else's body is so pathetic. I don't understand that at all. You know?
Well, see, and if you're religious, I never understood that either. Because let's say if you're religious, there's a heaven. So you go to heaven when you die, and then when your wife dies, she meets you in heaven also, right?
Right.
But what if she gets married again? So now he's up there too, and it's like...
Oh, like you're going to be in heaven and not meet anybody? You're going to be in heaven waiting
for... in heaven? You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
It's heaven. There's dead models up there. I mean, it's heaven. There's a reason why. No, excuse me. If I would say, I would have replied if my husband said to me, you know, I don't want you to ever be with anybody again. I would say, okay, well, then you can't be with anybody in heaven.
Well, no, because I'm going to be waiting on you, and I don't want you to bring somebody with you. Because that's going to be awkward. I'm going to say, dude, I've been here for 10 years, and now you come up here and you bring John.
Okay, you're going to be in heaven for 10 years waiting for me and not hook up in heaven. I don't believe that.
Yes, because I'm a good guy. I'm waiting on you.
I don't think that's how it happens.
And then I'm going to be so mad because I told you not to hook up, and then you had to hook up with John.
Till death do us part. We are parted. Sorry. We have parted.
Just take that out of my vows.
We're not still we're not still married just because we're in heaven. If you die, that's it. The contract is over. You've got to remarry me in heaven.
Okay. That's not going to happen.
Okay, well, exactly. So that in that case, I'm bringing John.
And Fred and Frank and Louie.
And anyone else that I decided that I wanted to sleep with now that I'm finally free of you
up here the whole
and your
time.
misogyny.
The whole time I've been waiting up here. Now my kids aren't going to talk to you, and they're going to feel bad for me.
Sorry, we're not married anymore. Till death do us part, we've parted.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
So what if you go out with a guy on, let's say, a first date? What's something they do that turns you off immediately?
If they're rude to the waitstaff or rude to a cab driver or rude to anybody who's like a hostess, somebody who's a bartender, that kind of thing, somebody who's helping us or serving us. Yeah, that's an immediate turnoff. So
let's say you've been dating them for a while. What's something that turns you off? Like this person said, basically throwing a tantrum when angry, just losing all control and raging out.
Yeah, not being able to control your anger is a big one. Yeah, that's a big problem.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you something else. I dated this guy. When I first started dating him, he was like kind of sweet and kind of handsome. And I thought I really liked him. And he was just, he was shy and a little more on the quiet side. And I kind of liked that about him. But as we started dating and I got to know him, I realized that he was a huge snob. But I had no idea because he didn't really talk very much. And there we were. So, okay, he tells me the story. We've been dating at this point, like, I don't know, a month or two. Like, wasn't that long. And he had gone to lunch with the big boss, not just his boss, but the boss's boss had taken the whole department to lunch. And he sat himself next to the big boss because he's no dummy. He wants to cozy up to the decision maker in the room,
Mm-hmm.
And as they're sitting there, he said, the guy took a piece of bread and he put it on my bread plate. And I was like, who finished this guy? Meaning, like, what finishing school did he go to?
Right.
And I was like, who the hell goes to finishing school?
I don't want to date that guy.
and he was so appalled by the fact that the big boss of his company didn't know which one was his bread plate, and he went on about it. It wasn't like just a joke he made, and he really went on about it, about like how he was like questioning staying with the company, and he thought these people had more class than
you
that.
Should just go ahead and quit.
And
hate to tell you, just
exactly.
quit.
Go ahead. If you're concerned that the person who runs your company and pays your salary doesn't know which bread plate is proper, please go ahead and quit.
You're not going to be happy with anything at work, so just go ahead. We don't need
exactly.
You.
So it was that moment that I was like, wow, what a snob he is. I had no idea.
This lady says somebody who doesn't brush their teeth.
Who doesn't brush their teeth?
And somebody said, sorry, are there people out there having days and not brush their teeth? Have you actually encountered people like this? And she said, my ex didn't brush his teeth for a decade.
What?
He told me it started out when he was a kid, and then he couldn't be bothered. Now it's painful for him when he tries, so he just doesn't do it.
That's gross, and luckily very unusual.
Yeah, can you imagine?
No, not in a million years. In fact, we had a whole thing here back at the house because we were arguing over which dental picks were the best ones. The one with the little piece of floss in there, or the one that's just like a thin plastic thing that you poke in between your teeth?
The floss.
Well, my dentist says the pokey one's better.
Really?
Yeah, I like the floss one better because I think it gets stuff out, but the dentist was like, no, the pokey one is way better because it's better for your gums too.
But the pokey one is thicker.
No, you don't get the wood one. You get the plastic one that has the little rubber tip at the end. These things are phenomenal. Yeah, it's like a little mini dental tool. It's like poke, clean, and then you brush. It's fantastic.
poke, clean. This person said bad manners, arrogant, and bad hygiene. Bad hygiene to me, number one. Can't do it. Not there. Sorry.
I think also selfish sexually. That's a turn off for me. That's a big turn off for me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because and that's one of the reasons why I started sleeping with guys early, because I want to get a sense of what I was in store for,
That gives you a reason to sleep with him on the first day, just to know.
Well, yeah, because then okay. I have a lot of friends that are like, you got to wait 10 dates. Other women that are like, you got to wait 3 months. You're going to waste 3 months on a guy that has maybe never performed oral sex in his life, and you're finding out for the first time 3 months in? No, honey, you're going to find that. You got to need to find that shit out early.
This person says his inability to be wrong. That is your boyfriend. He is never wrong. So if that's a turnoff, Joe is not the one for you to date.
It's luckily not a turnoff for me. I've been with several of those.
Yeah, never. Well, you're the same way. So
right. I'm not wrong either.
Somebody who gets super defensive during a disagreement. It's not that serious, dude. Chill out.
These people are really into like the way they handle fighting. They're doing a lot of fighting. My gosh.
Well, because people fight a lot.
I know, but how about there's other things that are better for turnoffs than how angry they get and how they fight? I mean, that you can at least work out with somebody.
Being intolerant of other people's cultures. Now, I didn't know that was a big thing until I've been watching 90 Day Fiancé thing.
Okay.
So people will date somebody like a Hindu person or something like that, and they'll go to their country and wear like a tank top with their boobs hanging out. It's like, dude, it's not cool. Then they get all pissed off. It's like, yeah, you have to know other people.
You got to show respect. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a big thing. Bashing his exes on a first date.
Oh, yeah. Bashing. Okay. So bashing an ex early on is really tacky and just shows that you're insecure. But once you're in the relationship with the person, I think it's okay to regularly call the exes by the wrong name. I think that's a passive aggressive way to let them know that it's not okay. Like, stop talking about that bitch, whatever her name is.
Like you would call somebody what?
Well, what's her name? What's her actual name?
Carol.
Oh, Chastity. What's her name? Chastity?
Oh, so you would never call them by their real name.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple of women in my boyfriend's past that still to this day I'm like, oh, I pretend I don't remember him telling me about her. Who's that? Which one is she? Where'd you meet her? I don't remember this.
Oh, and you know exactly everything about them.
Did you date her for more than like a minute? Who is this?
You know where she lives. You know where she's dating now. You know everything about her.
Yeah.
You know how old she is. You know where she works. You've researched everything. But to him, she's Chastity.
Right. It's always the wrong name. And then one day it's Chastity. Next day it's like, what's that woman that you dated, Kathy? Dated somebody Kathy, was it?
Speaking over me or others. See, well, you probably like that.
That happens. That's like, if you're so that's more of a red flag about you. If you're the kind of person that you're going to stop dating somebody that you could potentially really like because they've spoken over you or spoken over others, like that's something that you can talk to somebody about and say, I don't know if you realize that you do this, but you got to stop it. That's a fixable problem. That one's fixable.
Talking about how hot they used to be.
Oh, well, that's me every day.
Yeah. I used to bike 10 miles a day and do 200 push-ups in one go.
Okay. Don't date somebody over 35. If that's your problem, make sure you always date somebody 35 and under. Because the minute you turn 35, it's all about what you did in your 20s.
Yeah, it's like that 6 months I dropped 100 pounds. That's all I talk about now. Yeah, right. I was I was 140 pounds. It was great.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
There's a woman, she posted this on TikTok. She has chickens, dogs, cats, and I guess a big house.
Mm-hmm.
It is really hard to find somebody to come and take care of your house when you go away. And I know this because one of my best friends travels a lot and her husband works in a job where he has to travel. And every once in a while they're like, hey, do you and your boyfriend want to come crash here for the week and take care of our 4 dogs? Oh. It's like, no, we have a life. We can't. So they have a hard time just finding somebody to go to their house and take care of their 4 dogs when they're away. Mm. This woman has 4 dogs, chickens, cats, and a giant house.
Yeah, they can never leave.
Right. So they do leave, and they found a friend, a girl that they knew who was willing to come to their house and feed the cats, walk the dogs, feed the chickens, and then do whatever else you got to do to chickens, egg them. I don't know. I don't know anything about chickens.
De-egg them.
De-egg them. I don't know. Found somebody to do it. And she comes back from her trip and she's all freaking out because her house is a wreck. And she posted on TikTok. So take a look at this house. Take a look at what happened after the house sitter left. And tell me whose side you're on when it comes to this.
You don't have to do that. No, I want to do that. That's why I'm recording.
Okay, so there's stuff everywhere.
Fucking get the full mess that she left in my home so she can't come back and say, it wasn't too bad.
It doesn't look like she made the mess. Looks like your animals made the mess.
Probably. So there's trash everywhere.
So, nail polish everywhere.
Oh, I thought that was cocaine.
It looks like
a big pile of coke.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So bother cleaning it up near sentimental photos.
I guess she spilled some nail polish.
Near a photo that was close.
There's no way she wasn't drinking, though. My fucking diffuser.
Oh, no.
M&M's everywhere in a house where dogs live.
That's a problem.
Andy, I got him that Lego set, really early on in our relationship. It's fucking broken everywhere.
Yeah, so there's toys that are all over the place and broken. I guess she'd stepped on Legos.
Fucking wreck.
So as you're walking through the house, there's towels everywhere. It looks like somebody ransacked her bathroom. There's tampon wrappers on the ground. It looks awful, and her table's all scratched up. So it's not just a mess. I mean, it's a disaster. And everybody was on there going, Oh man, I hope you didn't pay her. Oh, she should pay you for the cleaning bill. Oh, this is awful. Am I the only one who's like, how about thank you for staying at my house for a week? Thank you for taking care of my dogs and cats and chickens. I'm sorry. If the place is a mess, that's your responsibility. No, but I'm not here. Sorry, I'm not here to take care of your house and clean your house. I'm here to take care of your animals, which I did. I don't mind living like a pig. That's how I live. So if you want me here, a bed's not going to get made. I'm going to take a shower, drop the towels on the ground. If I drop food on the floor, it's staying there. Sorry, that's what you get.
Yeah, that looked a little crazy, but it could have been with 4 dogs. That could have been the dogs that did all that. So when you leave 4 dogs alone, they're going to go crazy because you're not there. So
but they didn't leave the dogs alone. The woman was with the dogs.
But what I'm saying is the dogs could have went nuts that their owners weren't there and they tore up the house. So if your dogs tear up the house, do I have to clean up the house and clean up after your dogs that destroyed the house? I don't think so.
Right. Good point. That's a very good point. Right. We don't know because some of the toys on the ground look like they were chewed pretty well. My guess is the woman didn't chew them.
No, let's say you're watching somebody's dog at their house. Just one dog. And let's say the dog pees on the floor.
Yeah.
Are you going to clean it up?
Yes, because that's on me. It's my job to make sure the dog pees and poops outside and doesn't make a mess at the house. So yes, if the dog pees on the floor, that's my fault. So, but if the dog knocks over, I don't know, you have a statue and the dog or a vase and the dog knocks it over and breaks it, not my problem. You know what kind of dog you have. This actually happened to me. I had a friend, I was house sitting for her. She had a golden retriever. And, retrievers eat everything and they have that tail that she had a vase on the table where the dog's tail was and the dog just swept that table and everything went flying. It's like, you know what dog you have. I don't know why you had a glass vase on a table. That's on you.
Yeah. So do you have to pick up that mess and clean it up before they come home? No, because it's your dogs.
Right. I cleaned up the glass because I didn't want the dog. Again, it's about the dog. I cleaned up the glass because I didn't want the dog to step on it and injure their paws because I'm there to take care of the dog, not the house. Your house is not my responsibility. Are your pets alive? Are they fed? Have they peed and pooped in the house? No, they have not. So she did a good job.
Okay. Let's say she's not paying you to watch the dog and the dog shits on the floor. You going to clean it up?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't want to live in a house with poop on the floor.
Right.
That's disgusting. No, I mean, listen, if a dog poops on the floor, could be because they're angry that you left them, not because they're misbehaved, not because they're sick. I mean, that's happened. My mother used to travel all the time. We had a Siberian Husky. And I remember my mother had gone away on a vacation. I was away at college. She had a friend come and stay at the house, take care of the dog. The dog was fine, was taken care of, was fed. The house was immaculate. My mother came back from her trip. She opened the bedroom door. The dog jumped up on her bed and pooped on her bed. That's what I think of you leaving me. Here's then. Poop. Right there, poop on. And that dog has never pooped on the bed. So, dogs get upset. They're emotional. So if the dog is pooping in the house because they're emotional, you can't help that. You got to clean that up. You feel bad for the dog.
Yeah, I think that's one of those times I didn't see it. I kept walking past it. I didn't see it.
You didn't smell it?
I didn't smell it. No, don't smell anything. Sorry. No, not my dog. I didn't poo on the floor. It was your dog. Your dog, not my poo.
No, but you're there to take care of the dog. That's part of taking care of the dog.
The dog's still alive. Thank me.
No, if the dog poops on the floor, anything that goes into or comes out of that dog is your responsibility when the person's not there.
So, but if they scratch your Picasso, then that's on you.
On you.